All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Santa Sophia Catholic College Facebook Live. And I'm here tonight with Mr. Michael Knight from the secondary campus, and we're also very lucky to have Miss Denise Ganak from the primary, our kindergarten teacher. So we are really excited to be here tonight, and we're going to be talking numeracy. Yay. So you can see the excitement between the three of us. So it would be fantastic for our parents or potential parents, students and others that are out there to jump on and enjoy our Facebook Live. And at any point, you can see that you can ask questions or add comments, and we'll do our very best to be able to answer all those questions tonight. So to kick it off, this Facebook Live, our last one, we talked about literacy and all the important strategies in helping your son or daughter help them at home with their literacy strategies and things that they're learning in school. And tonight, we thought we'll do the same in just sharing some of the things that we do with numeracy in terms of what happens in school at stage 4 in the secondary as well as kindergarten. And also, what else might we do?
Well, I want to kick it off by saying what numeracy actually means. So the difference between mathematics and numeracy, well, mathematics is what you see in the classroom with the algebra, the geometry, but numeracy is really the mathematics that you apply to real life. So it's mathematics you encounter when you go shopping or when you're painting the house, or there's just many applications where mathematics is actually important in real life, and that's what we refer to as numeracy.
Yeah, numeracy also incorporates like the mathematical skills such as like reasoning and problem solving, and they're the skills that they can use in real life.
Estimation is another massive one as well. Sometimes you don't always need an exact number, but having the skill of estimation definitely is a very important numeracy skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And we often get the question from parents, not only around numeracy, but what makes Santa Sophia different? And often parents might, ask us, sometimes, well, what do you do differently, like, in terms of mathematics or numeracy? And one of the things with numeracy is that whole application. And I know I'll pass it over to Michael, but in the secondary context, how might we, like in class?
Well, all of our students have a Google Classroom that we upload all the mathematics resources to. So 24 hours a day, they can see exactly what's been going on in class. And to this, we always upload videos as well. So we have videos that we take of different concepts, or we make flipped classroom videos where, well, what a flipped classroom is, it's when students watch a video before they come to class. It's usually at a surface level, so a basic understanding, and then they'll come to class and we'll attempt to deepen their understanding with problem solving and different things like that.
And there are a number of ways that we connect. And I mean, to have this initiative, it's all about really working in partnership with our parents, with our families. And what might be some ways, Denise, would you like to share with our community how we share our work in maths with
definitely.
The families?
So in the primary context, we have something called Seesaw, where we use that on a daily basis, and we upload videos and photos of the children's work, and we also use those samples, the photos and videos, as a form of assessment. And in Seesaw as well, for every unit that we do in maths, we always have a picture and a little bit of a description of what the children are learning in mathematics, and then we upload not only the videos and photos, but also the rubric and the surface deep and transfer posters that the children are constantly exposed to, and they're familiar with the language and the pictures, and that's something that they use as a self-reflection tool as well in the classroom.
We do something similar in secondary. We have our digital portfolios, which many people are familiar with, and I think it's fantastic. Students will complete an assessment task or a concept, and they'll reflect. It's so important to reflect on how they've performed in this task, and to put an idea about where they're going to go, what they're going to improve on for their next task. So that's fantastic.
We heavily rely on the surface deep and transfer posters because it allows the students to be able to know where they are at their learning and where they can go to next. And even at a kindergarten level, they're starting to be able to do that, which is really great.
And it's wonderful to see that we can see now we've got people on the Facebook Live. So welcome Paul Grosvenor and others that are there. And we really welcome everyone tonight, and really encourage you to ask questions, give comments, and we would love to be able to answer any of those suggestions. So one of the things that that I guess across the board at Santa Sophia is connecting with that real life experience, as well as we've made mention of the surface deep transfer. So just to help our community out there, what might surface deep transfer kind of be in maths? Do you want to give an example, Denise, and I'll pass over to Michael?
So for example, with surface deep transfer, for example, at the moment we're doing division or like sharing. So for example, surface would be something like, being able to share the equipment and making equal groups, and then deep will be more in terms of the application of how many groups, and in terms of sharing, in terms of how many groups, and also the collection and sharing a certain amount. And then the transfer is more the problem solving, so looking at different questions and them also creating their own questions, and being able to use a language, and those working mathematical skills is a transfer part. So that's something that we've that's just an example of what we're doing at the moment.
What about in the secondary?
It's the same in secondary. We expose our students to the fact that surface learning is really understanding those not, we'll say basic concepts, but getting an idea about how to solve tasks. The deep is moving into an application of those concepts. And then we explain that transfer is really when there's a problem that requires many concepts or many ideas being used in a different situation to solve the problem. So really getting a good understanding and being able to apply it in a very new, unfamiliar situation.
And the wonderful thing I've seen, just even obviously me with a secondary background, we see everywhere our surface deep transfer. We've got our real life kind of connections to our projects in mathematics. A couple of things come to mind, like I think one of our most recent ones is I know with some of our groups in Year 7, they were looking at different car hires, and they were learning from spreadsheets how to analyse what's the best way, depending on the distance that you travel, that it's going to be most cost effective. And then I know there was another group with Year 8s, and they were looking at the grading of different graphs, and so they're currently doing that. So we're learning about gradients, but we're not just seeing it as it's the rise of everyone. We're actually looking at it in the situation of the speed of travel as well, which is fantastic. Students are actually getting an understanding about how this maths is purposeful to their real life scenarios. Now I know if you're a parent sitting there, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, they're talking mathematics. I've forgotten all this from schooling. So I want you to know that we want to support. We want to support the parents and the families, and really helping the students either at a kindergarten level. And I know right now it's 7 and 8 in the secondary, but as we grow from preschool all the way to post-school, or from kindergarten all the way to Year 12, we want to support families in helping them being able to support their own children. So one of the things that we do at Santa Sophia to help the parents is we do produce a lot of our own videos, and Michael's made mention of those. How might they access
well, there are many exhilarating hours of videos that I'm putting together, but they're made in just a couple of minutes. So like a concept will be explained in like 2 to 5 minutes, and they're uploaded to the Google Classroom. So students can access those at home in the comfort of their own home at any time and as many times as they want to. So if they're having a lot of trouble understanding, say, a concept on linear relationships, they can watch this video over and over again explaining it. And we say, listen, if this still isn't helping, just make sure you come and ask us, and we'll go over the concept again in another way.
And welcome to, we can see we've got some more parents jumping on board, Mr. Bollard and Nina and Shruti. So we welcome you. Thank you for the lovely comments. I agree, Shruti. Our kindergarten teachers are magnificent, and the effort that they really put in. So it's really nice for you to see that you can see a big difference in your child's learning and how much they're enjoying school. So that's very nice of you. And I can see you've got a question there, Brett, around the seesaw. And around the rubric.
Yeah,
Do you want to just...
so with the rubric in terms of the link, so most of the units do have the link that will lead you to the rubric and also the surface deep and transfer posters. It does only work on an iPad, but if you're still having technical difficulty, we'll try to get onto that in terms of how we can get all the parents to be able to access it, both through a laptop and an iPad as well, and other devices.
Yeah, and we'll have a look. I know that phones often is our tool to the to everything. So we will make a note of that, Brett. Around can we use all the capacity of Seesaw also on the phone? Yeah. So we'll definitely get back to you. Now, often as maths teachers, one of the things that kids get into their heads is, oh, sir or miss, I'm just terrible at maths. I'm no good. So can I just share with Denise and with Michael, how might we address this? Like, what do we do in the secondary to really help our kids have a go?
Well, we really understand the concept of a growth mindset in mathematics, in secondary mathematics and primary mathematics. And so we want to give our students the opportunity to not have a fixed idea that, hey, I'm terrible at algebra or I can't do this. So one of the ways that we do this is we give them multiple opportunities to complete assessment tasks, and we give them resets if they feel like they're up to it. So what will happen, a class may get to the end of a topic, we'll give them a test and the student may perform poorly, and we don't want them to be there thinking, okay, I'm not good at this at all, and that'll go on into the next year and the next year. So what we do is we say to them, if you'd like to, you can do a reset of this test. And we say, so what we're going to do, we put a plan in place. In 2 weeks' time, you're going to get the opportunity to do a reset, but we're going to ask you to make sure that you practice and you go over these concepts. And one of the ways is with our after-school optional Tuesday afternoon classes that we have. So we ask them to come along and practice during those. And then 2 weeks' time, we're going to get them to do a reset. And we know at the moment, we've had some students who have completed an assessment task and in the process of getting ready for the next reset. And I think it's fantastic. They're not locked away with this mark. They get a chance to improve.
So one of the things before I ask you, Denise, in the secondary, it's so important that we build that growth mindset. Exactly. And I know as a parent, and I know there are parents that are watching this, and you think, wow, like, I would sit a test and then I wouldn't go well in it. And, I'm no good at maths because I only got the 30%. But we've got a bit of a mantra from kindergarten all the way through to the secondary right now, and our mantra is everyone can learn and everyone can grow. So hence why we give our kids multiple opportunities to resit their assessments. We give them multiple assistance in terms of our after-school Tuesday classes. And for those parents, you might be thinking, what are these Tuesday classes? We put on after school on a Tuesday afternoon, any student that wants help in maths, that needs extra assistance, that wants to get their homework complete, Michael and myself are there to assist them.
Exactly right. And credit to the students. We had about 30 yesterday afternoon who were there working away the whole time. And it was a pleasure to be there and working with them after school. So well done to those guys. And
Denise, what about, I go in and I see all these smiling faces in kindergarten that are so happy. How do you build that positive kind of mindset with the kindergarten students, so that some parents at home that might be struggling with it, you might be able to offer some help with them?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of like what Michael and Darren, what you were saying, in terms of building that positive mindset and also just being really excited about maths, and in terms of in kindergarten, we use a lot of hands-on materials, so exposing the children and getting them to use lots of different materials, and in terms of usually having a lot of games and like puzzles that relate to a lot of different topics in maths, and also I guess as well, gearing the lesson that will really engage the students. So, really incorporating things that they enjoy, that they like, that really gets them excited about maths as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Look, I've got some great questions from the parents, and thank you so much for putting those questions. So let's have a look at some. So Nina's asked a really good question there. Other than the videos which we provide to our students and are beneficial, so that's good to hear. What are some tips for parents that still the kids are getting stuck? So how might we besides the videos that we do send, Michael, do you want to share some other ways that I guess, you know, the child goes home and they're struggling with their maths?
Yeah, exactly right. So even if I explain it, it may not be the best way, and I'm not expecting everyone to get it from the videos, but there are many resources available that the parents and students can use. Now, we have our Jacaranda Online, which has a lot of wonderful worked examples, and it comes with interactives as well. And sometimes just the watching another person explain it is all you need, just a little thing to make sure it is understood better. So we've got that. We've got the worked examples on Jacaranda. I would also strongly encourage parents to communicate with Daryl and myself in the secondary and say, listen, can you help my child out with this? And many students come to us. They're very comfortable coming to us and say, can you explain this to us again? And we have many students who do, in fact, take us up on the chance to just some one-on-one time to explain some concepts and but we do understand where we'll speak about some ways at home that you can use some things you can do to help with numeracy, but we do understand you do have to find ways that you can get across the maths that we're in our classroom.
Yeah, one of the things I would encourage, sometimes the students, they write all these fantastic notes. We get them to write notes in class, and then some of them will just go home and just try to attempt questions. And I'll often ask students, well, did you actually have a look at the notes or highlight what was important from today's class? And often they'll kind of, oh no, I forgot that. So just simple things I would encourage you as a parent. Number one, the videos that we make, I think that's really beneficial. And I know we're all time poor, but if we're truly partners in your child's education, it's worth sitting down and just having a look at these 2 or 3 minute videos. Because I think they're quite, we do our best to really explain the concept in a very short way. So I'd encourage you to sit with your child, have a look at the video. I know it might take you back to some nightmares of your year 7 and 8 class, but we do try to make the videos engaging. Sit with them, encourage your child to have a look at their book, and maybe just to underline, highlight any important thing that they're doing.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think that's so beneficial. Spending some time with your child to look at their numeracy, to look at their mathematics is fantastic. Just go with that positive mind and say, listen, I don't understand this, but we can work this out together. And that your child would obviously appreciate that. And like Daryl said, then the students who are getting prepared for a test, encourage your child to put some notes into a separate book with examples that you both understand, and then you can go over those in the lead up to the assessment task. Fantastic.
Excellent. Now we've got a question here by Anajuna, so I hope I've pronounced that correctly. And the question is a great question. We know that the kindies are learning a lot, but what are the expectations, Denise, in maths by the end of kindy? So what are the types of things that you would expect?
So thank you for your question, Anuja. In terms for that, to prepare them to go to stage 1, in terms of whole number, because whole number is incorporated across all units in mathematics, we would say that they have to be confident with the numbers from 0 to 30. So if your child is able to identify the numbers, is able to write the numbers, is able to order the numbers and count fluently from 0 to 30 and starting from a different number as well, is something that we expect, because it's quite a big jump from early stage 1 to stage 1. But if you're able to extend them past 30, that would be even better, because in stage 1 we're going to be looking at numbers 0 to 100. So even if they can pass 30, if they're confident with that, I'd say just keep going in terms of maths, just to help them when they get to stage 1. Another one in terms of expectations for kindergarten, in terms of whole number, is looking at in terms of number before and after, for them to be able to be confident in that as well. In terms of other areas of maths, in terms of shapes and 3D space, it's being able to identify the different shapes and being able to use mathematical language to be able to describe those shapes as well, and those 3D objects. And in terms of addition subtraction, it's being able to use different strategies that they can be able to use and incorporate as well in stage 1, but they'll be a little bit more, that will help them a lot to be able to solve more complex problems. So in terms of it's more, it depends as well on the unit of maths, but I'd suggest for your child to be, confident in whole number, that will definitely help them along, across all topic areas in mathematics.
That's so true. So with numeracy, I mean, and I'm going to get Michael and Denise to jump in, but when we think about numeracy, the best thing, or one of a great way that you as a parent can really help your child is connecting the mathematics to real life, real world, day to day, what they're doing all the time. So a simple example might be getting your child in kindergarten to maybe have a look at the clock. Can they identify a number on the clock? Can they count, the number of lollies? Sorry for all the health people out there. I'm getting in trouble for saying lollies. Fruit.
Yes.
But being able to say, what shape is that? So being able to, connect,
definitely.
Especially at a young age. What about in the secondary context, Michael? How might a parent help, their year 7 or 8?
Yeah, I think even when your child, we're students in year 7, in year 8 now, it's so important to, let's say, spend quality time with them doing numeracy. But you could be watching the football and you're discussing the scores and you're saying, hey, listen, how many tries does our team need to get? And also this, what if they get 3 unconverted tries? How's that going to play? AFL is fantastic for trying to work out the goals and the behinds as well, and discussion about the scores. There's statistics constantly in sport, which is a fantastic way that you and your child can discuss the numeracy, but also the game that's going on as well. But there's many other ways. Cooking, getting your child interested. Cooking, my daughter loves cooking with the Hello Fresh at the moment. She's only 14, but she's learning all about the metric system and the different ways that you can, in fact, incorporate numeracy into cooking.
It's wonderful.
For secondary and primary, I think it's important that they find a purpose to their learning. And I know a lot of the time in maths, they go, why do we have to learn that? How does that have to relate to real life? So I think, if we find ways to be able to relate it to real life, I think that will help them be able to understand the mathematical concept a lot better.
That's a great idea. And mums and dads, share what you do in your work. Share it with them. Let them see that numeracy is alive.
It's an everyday.
And it's not just happening in the kindy class or in the stage 4 class, but share some of the things. If you're an accountant, or even if you're a mechanic, or whatever it is, just explain those, how you encounter numeracy and how you use it. So, your son and daughter will be able to see that. A couple of questions. So great questions, guys. So we've got here about the resits. So thanks, Nina. I'm asking, are the resits just happening in year 7, or how does it work?
No, we do only have year 7 and year 8, but they are fantastic. It is all about that growth mindset. And if the resits, if that's getting students to be open to mathematics and wanting to learn more, it'll continue throughout the school. And that's what we want. We want students just enjoying the mathematics and seeing the chance to grow. Absolutely. And if the resits work, we will consider it.
It's certainly philosophy at Santa Sophia. We give the kids every opportunity to improve. It's all about learning. It's all about that positive mindset and confidence. So that's a great question. So resits, as well as other subjects, we give the students multiple opportunities. So that'll happen throughout their schooling. So we got, thanks, Gail. We really like the videos and the posts on Google Classroom. So that's just some positive comments from our parents, which is fantastic. And giving some feedback that's really beneficial. So that's really, that's really great to hear. One of the things, and I'll pass it on to both of you, but I just want to start the conversation. There's things called really like surface level closed questions, like 4+5, and then there's more open-ended questions. And I know I've gone to kindy and I've been blown away by kindy's kind of looking at open-ended tasks or open-ended problems. So I might start with Denise. Do you just want to explain, first of all, what's an open-ended question or task, and how might the parents encourage that at home in terms of the thinking for the strategies and so forth?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So in terms of the open-ended task, it's just, it allows the children to be able to bring their own thinking and their learning, and to be able to apply those different strategies to be able to tackle that problem or that task. It also encourages the children to be able to use their higher order thinking in terms of their critical thinking and creative thinking skills as well, and to know that there's different ways of solving a problem and being able to use those different strategies. So in terms of the strategies that we look at, they're also like in terms of like surface, deep, and transfer. So for example, in addition, it's just counting by ones, or another higher order in terms of solving an addition problem could be counting by twos or counting by fives. So it depends on the child in terms of how they solve that problem. That's another way of them using the strategy that they are comfortable with, that they're confident with using, and to be able to